Hello there, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, the Chaos Incarnate. I hope you're all having yourselves the utmost of wonderful days. And today, we're going to be reacting to Perfect Cell versus Metal Sonic from Death Battle. Dragon Ball versus Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, doesn't start for a few minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and give my thoughts on the matchup. Honestly, without compositing Cell, this is kind of a stomp, at least in my eyes, versus is subjective. Keep that in mind. But, given the previews, I'm kind of expecting an Omni-Man versus Bardock situation, which, for those who don't know, basically what happened was Omni-Man was expected to be faster, Bardock was expected to be stronger. The opposite turned out to be what they went with. I'm kind of expecting that here because for Metal Sonic, they only gave him massively hypersonic speed in the preview, whilst for Cell, they gave him massively faster than light in the preview. But for Metal Sonic, they also brought up the black hole feat from Sonic Colors, so I'm kind of expecting for Metal Sonic to take power, whilst Cell takes speed. So, yeah. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and watch the sneak peek in the video itself. Yeah, let's go ahead. Go all the way back. And take a look. Okay. Fair warning, I am recording on OBS, so this might lag a little bit. Or a lot, who knows. I really hope it happens.
Fool, you're dealing with the ultimate life form.
Then prepare to kneel before your master.
Very, very nice. Now, a couple things to get out of the way. I'd like to thank DevilArtemis for all he's brought to the Death Battle team over the years. Really good episode to go out on. I love how he's collaborating with Moro, and there was one other animator in the description. Let's take a look. Animation, Duvad, and Moro. Okay, yeah. So it's kind of like a passing of the torch, because Moro was like the new big animator on the scene since he did Bowser vs. Eggman, Mahito vs. Shigaraki.
Snap your W-2 and file your taxes 100% free. Plus, get your biggest refund. Roughly 37% of filers qualify. Simple Form 1040 returns only. File now.
I don't think he did. At least not to my memory.
Shield by Garden Health does a colon cancer screening that's really easy to do.
Sorry,
and I want to share the process
anyway.
with you.
Ready?
All right. But yeah, while we're waiting, I love how he's essentially passing the torch. I really hope this episode does well. The animation looks amazing. The lighting especially is just crisp. But yeah, I love how we're going to be starting with, at least I think we're going to be starting with the world form, since that was like kind of his base form in the IDW comics, whilst for Cell, it's Perfect Cell. The only form he has after that is Super Perfect Cell, but I'm not sure if we're going to get that or not. As for who I think is going to win, I'm rooting and betting on Metal Sonic, but I'm also half expecting for there to be some kind of twist that gives Cell the advantage. But I'm not sure if battle can be unpredictable at times. Yeah. Track name. Track was named Metal as Cell, which is honestly cool. Composed and done by Daryl. Let's see what else. I do kind of wish that they got Crush 40 with how, like, they got Jason Page from Suzuki. But it is what it is. As long as the track goes hard, I really don't care all that much. Besides, I think Crush 40 is more Brandon Yates. I think they have a band together now. But I know that Johnny Gioli is more than willing to work with any projects as well as Jason Page. So yeah. Alright. Now we just wait. 60 seconds to go. Over. So yeah, overall final verdict, I'm gonna say Metal Sonic, but I won't be surprised if it winds up flipping on his head. Here's hoping. Do not lag. There's more hats over there. Anyway, time for me to shut up. Let's go. Okay. Here we go. Ooh, that sound! Love it.
Cell versus Metal Sonic.
Which copycat android is truly the superior model?
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Time for the Clash of the Clankers. Alright.
There's a monster stalking Gingertown. No one who's seen it has lived to tell the tale. All it left behind was their clothes. Something ate these people's insides, leaving only a shadow behind.
Some kind of creature driven only by the need to feed. Earth's new apex predator, the ultimate life form.
The Namekian Piccolo went to investigate this manslayer and discovered that it was intelligent. Its tail could unravel to absorb its hapless victims and add their energy to its wretched gestalt.
But the nightmare was only just beginning, because for its last trick, somehow this freak of nature knew the Kamehameha.
The mystery of this creature's origin was decades in the making. Years ago, the world was terrorized by the most advanced paramilitary organization in history, the Red Ribbon Army.
Until they got rocked by this little kung fu gremlin, Son Goku.
But Red Ribbon's dream of revenge lived on within their head scientist,
Dr.
Dr. Gero.
Zero.
Hiding away in his spooky cave laboratory, Gero would go to work studying the Z-Fighters from afar, learning everything there was to know about them.
And building a series of androids that would destroy his spiky-haired nemesis once and for all.
He made a ton of them. Infinite energy
Well,
androids,
superficially similar,
key-absorbing
Cell Max,
androids,
Dragon Ball
trucker head
Super Hero is a
androids,
separate
and
character.
even...
Okay. Glad they made that
Ginger
specification.
androids.
However, none of Gero's creations were capable of matching that drive to improve that Goku and his fellow martial artists possessed.
Luckily, he had one more android left. A cute little booger so complex he'd take years after Gero's death to complete. Its name was Cell.
Born from a single cell, get it? This android possessed the genetic information of all the greatest
Extremely
warriors that
annoying
had
to
battled
draw.
on Earth,
Yeah.
and, when fully evolved, would become unstoppable.
And with their DNA, Cell absorbed all their powers and techniques too.
Common among all of
Yeah, something about that. Sorry for pausing, but fun fact, Toriyama hated drawing Cell because his design is so specific that every dot on his body has to be perfect. Fortunately, with SFM, you don't have that problem.
them is the power to manipulate ki, or the energy that exists in all living things, and weaponize it to fire energy blasts, fly at faster than light speeds, move things with telekinesis, and create force fields.
From the humans, Krillin and Tien, Cell knows the multiform technique, Destructo Disc, and the Tri-Beam, his extra special favorite. Oh, weird, I'm not seeing Chaozu on this list. Sorry, bud.
Is Chaozu human?
Oh.
Okay.
What
Cell
is
can fire the
Chaozu?
Death Beam, as well as breathe in and travel through the vacuum of space with the alien genes of Frieza and his father.
And because he's got Piccolo's DNA, Cell can regenerate humongous damage to his body at the cost of some ki.
Cell has survived having half his body vaporized multiple times, and cannot be destroyed unless the small cluster of cells at the core of his being is eradicated.
Should that little bugger survive, Cell will always return, even stronger than before because of the Saiyan DNA he got from Goku and Vegeta. Definitely the cream of the genetic crop.
Sure, he can perfectly replicate attacks like the Gallic Gun, Spirit Bomb, and of course Kamehameha, as well as teleport by locking onto a living being's key signature.
But the best part of being a Saiyan is how much crazy stronger they get every time they almost die.
They can even evolve to become orders of magnitude
Yeah,
stronger
but
in
he
the
has
midst
to, like,
of
get
battle. Combine that with
ultra,
Cell's healing
ultra close
factor,
to death.
and he's
Getting half his
effectively
body
the
erased won't
ultimate
count.
warrior.
Like a perpetual shonen motion machine.
Driven by a biological imperative, Cell wanted nothing more than to devour Gero's previous androids, 17 and 18, believing it would make him perfect.
Only one problem. The Cell we know was born in the future, and both 17 and 18 had been destroyed. So he murdered Trunks and went back in time. Not our Trunks, future Trunks. Well, not future Trunks, but another future Trunks. It's very complicated.
Yeah.
There's like 5 timelines.
As Cell defeated and absorbed the
Marvel,
androids, he
imperfect,
evolved,
semi-perfect,
not only getting
perfect,
stronger,
and
but
super
changing his
perfect.
personality and developing a lust for battle.
He became less creepy bug serial killer and more, well, Saiyan. After exploiting that very Saiyan arrogance and warrior's pride, Cell finally became perfect.
And easily
yeah.
dominated Trunks and Vegeta, the latter of whom had decades of battle experience under his belt.
Perfect Cell's power was off the charts. He could threaten the whole Earth just by powering up. With a full power Kamehameha, he was even capable of destroying our entire solar system.
While the vast majority of our solar system's mass is located in the sun, this still means that Cell's key wave would have to reach 2.8 billion miles to eradicate every planet.
But Wiz, maybe he was just exaggerating.
Not likely. Cell's claim has been backed up in multiple guidebooks and even demonstrated outright in the video games.
Cell's even stronger in the
Okay.
anime adaptation, considering the time Frieza blew up Namek. In the anime, the explosion was literally hundreds of light years wide and lit up the friggin' galaxy.
And Cell was far stronger than Frieza was at that point in time.
Sure.
Hell, the Namekians could sense him all the way from a different
Okay,
galaxy
so-
and thought he might be a threat to the whole universe.
He's also
Okay, so we
incredibly
are
fast,
including the
capable of
statement
blitzing
scaling.
even the
Okay,
strongest
okay.
sea fighters at the time. Goku flew from Grand Kai's planet of heaven all the way to hell, hundreds of billions of light years in half a minute. And that was in his base form.
Yeah, that's cool, but how about the power to squeeze mini Cell Juniors out of your butt? What? Never heard of that key technique? Call it the Kegel.
Perfect Cell was entirely
Evidence
without
described
peer
as the
and,
universe
no
in
longer wedded to
Sensu,
Jiro's
like
petty
that's the
grudge,
anime.
decided to prove it with a
Oh,
tournament.
okay.
The
So
Cell
he
Game!
was still a serious
And
Cell.
if Goku couldn't even beat him, what hope did anyone else have? Vegeta couldn't even handle a Cell Jr.
Their last hope was Goku's own son, Gohan.
After Cell arrogantly let him power up, Gohan unleashed his rage, pushed the bug monster to his absolute limits, and beat him. Wow, Cell, you really are related to Vegeta, aren't you?
In truth, Cell was a victim of his own success. The same Saiyan genes that made him all-powerful also sowed the seeds of his defeat.
He got so mad he even blew himself up. Maybe he does have some Chaozu in him after all.
Even that wasn't enough to totally put him down, and he came back with the same Super Saiyan power-up that Gohan had just unlocked.
Super perfect Cell. Now
boy.
with more lightning, in a battle for the ages, Cell put the entire weight of his biological programming against one lone Saiyan and went the distance.
But in the end, it still wasn't enough. No matter how brilliantly Dr. Gero copied the Z-Fighters, he still couldn't quite figure out their knack for going beyond.
What can be destroyed can always be rebuilt. All it takes to recreate the most fearsome warrior in the universe is one single Cell.
hell yeah.
Hey, real quick, did you know Death Metal launched our own tabletop gaming channel? It's called
Nice.
The Nightly Brew. We're doing Dungeons and Dragons, Blood on the Clock Tower, and a bunch of other stuff. I'd love if you could check it out. We just finished our campaign through the old school Tomb of Horrors, the most infamous dungeon in D&D history.
Okay.
Here's a clip. You quadruple in size and bump into multiple of the columns. There's no way you can fit in this room without touching columns. So you begin floating up
It's my
into
last
the air
character.
as giant.
All right, well, they brought up
balloon soot,
the universe-destroying statement, and they brought up the
drifts
trip
closer
from...
to the demon
brought up the
face.
trip to hell, so...
When he gets just a couple feet away from the
Cell
mouth,
might have a shot at
soot
this. I
just-
won't lie, he might actually have a shot.
You
I don't
were
know
like,
if it's 100%,
oh, this dungeon's terrible.
but he might still
It's
have a
the
shot
most,
nonetheless.
like, everybody
Problem
dies. It's
is
the hardest thing. And I was
power
like, we've
copying.
got this. These other sessions.
We
and
shall
then we hit
see.
this fucking room, and I am at my limit. I hate this.
Not to mention the massive
with
upscale
all of my
from
being.
heroes to forces, so Metal Sonic might just power stomp, who knows. Here we go.
time and again, the world and its cuddly forest critters were threatened by the evil and oval Dr. Ivo Eggman Robotnik.
And time and again, that same world and those same critters were saved by Sonic the Hedgehog. No matter how many robotic
Death Metal will
badniks the good
prioritize the
doctor
primary
threw at his
canon,
blue
the video
spiky
games, and the
nemesis,
IDW
his
comics.
schemes were always 6 spin jumps to the glowing weak spot away from getting
It's
cracked
8,
and
not
scrambled.
6.
But it wouldn't be over easy for Eggman. If he couldn't defeat the Blue Blur, he would make his own. Metal Sonic.
That was a good movie.
Well, 0 points on creativity for that name, but god damn, he does look metal as hell.
They
Hell
say
yeah.
imitation is the sincerest form of flattery,
276
so
pounds,
Eggman built metal with more than enough
metallic,
glass processing to match his prototype.
Metal can zoom around at massively hypersonic
Sonic,
speeds,
Sonic,
fast
Sonic,
enough to
Sonic,
fly to
Sonic.
nearby
Holy
planets
hell.
in seconds.
He's tougher than Eggman's standard equipment, some of which can survive black holes.
Metal can use all of Sonic's
there's the
power-ups
black hole
and
thing.
even replicate his classic spin dash and light speed attack.
But he's got moves of his own.
He can attack with energy blast, fire a chest laser, surround himself in an electric aura, or an impenetrable force field.
By overloading his circuitry with energy, Metal can activate V maximum overdrive, quadrupling his acceleration and obliterating anything in his path, at the risk of self-destructing.
You'd think
Yeah, it's
all
worth
that'd be enough to turn the rodent into roadkill, but it only took one showdown on Stardust Speedway to send Metal to the scrap heap.
On paper, Metal should be able to outmatch Sonic in every way, and yet he doesn't. For some reason, Eggman wasn't able to capture that ineffable quality that makes Sonic the fastest thing alive. Metal's defeats at the hands of Sonic and his friends sharpened his AI into a seething hatred of his rival and a burning desire to prove himself superior.
Yeah, well, when you're getting your supersized red ass handed to you by Charmy B, you know
Yeah,
something's gone
that's
horribly
gotta be
wrong.
pretty
Metal's
humiliating to
defeats
do.
gave him an existential crisis. If he was created to surpass Sonic and couldn't even manage that, what was he? Why should he exist?
question.
Never one to admit defeat, Eggman took Metal back to the drawing board and birthed him anew. You.
This Neo Metal Sonic was, above all, far smarter.
Especially after he copied Eggman's intelligence and took over his empire. And we mean literally copied. If Metal started as Sonic's copycat, why not hunt all of his furry friends down and copy them too?
Neo
we
Metal
go.
Sonic is equipped with scanners in
Ring
his
spark,
optic
flash,
receptors
shield,
that can
copycat,
copy
chaos,
a
control,
person's
nut,
biodata,
spatial
giving him
storage,
the
power-up,
ability to
including
recreate
ultra,
all of their
hyper,
abilities
hyper,
in
dark,
seconds.
chaos,
Like the
master.
Sonic Boom,
Okay,
Knuckles'
so
his
we are
hammer
including
punch,
the super
Tails' his
cores.
magical swiveling asshole, and Big's ability to suck at fishing.
Metal isn't just learning their moves, he can replicate more esoteric powers like
Tails
Silver
speculates that he
Psychokinesis,
could
manufacture
steal
Rouge's mechanical
pyrokinesis.
bat guards,
This also
or alter
infers
his
he can
very
copy
biology to
multiple
copy Espio's chameleon invisibility. It's worth mentioning that biological data is a real scientific term
Yep.
and can refer to molecular structures like the genome sequence within a living organism's DNA.
Yeah, his copying is so busted, it doesn't really matter that he's a robot made of metal. If you can do it, so can he. Probably helps that he can shapeshift and regenerate his whole body from a puddle.
Likely by copying one of the mightiest beings on the planet, the god of destruction, Chaos.
Not the only chaos he's encountered.
By scanning the ultimate life form, Shadow the Hedgehog, he gained his ability to manipulate some of the most powerful artifacts in the universe.
You mean the Chaos Emerald?
Unexpected.
Yes, the emeralds contain an infinite wellspring of mystical power and life energy. With them, Metal can perform Shadow's chaos control. He can teleport, warp, and distort space, boost his speed, and stop time. And with either the Chaos Emeralds or Master Emerald, he can transform
Giga
into
Neo
Super
Overlord,
Neo
Master
Metal
Overlord.
Sonic.
Completely
Okay, so Super Neo
invulnerable
is
and
invulnerable.
completely
That's gonna be
golden.
helpful.
Super Neo Metal Sonic can move at faster than light speeds and has the power to move continents.
The emeralds
base
are
metal
inconceivably powerful. They've been used to fuel Eggman's Death Egg, which could obliterate star systems.
On their own, they can even create and destroy whole universes.
Other super characters like Sonic have battled and defeated beings like the Time Eater, who could destroy multiple dimensions and timelines in seconds. At their peak, 3 super hedgehogs have even fought Solaris, who nearly consumed Sonic's entire multiverse.
So Super Neo
Yep,
Metal
there it
Sonic
is. Metal
should
Sonic.
be just as powerful as any
Hang
of
on.
them. Though
Metal Sonic should outclass the younger classic Super Sonic, who also fought Time Eater and is capable of matching modern Super Sonic, Shadow, and Silver after copying their biodata. Super Neo Metal Sonic and modern Super Sonic have also fought evenly in Sonic Speed Simulator. Right, I forgot the Roblox game is canon.
he's gotta be quick because all that power only lasts a short time.
The road to total domination was
the
nearly
time
at an
limit.
end.
That might
After
be a
manipulating
problem.
Sonic and friends and copying their abilities, Metal eventually combined their biodata with the mighty Egg Fleet and became Metal Overlord.
Hell
Complete
yeah.
with missiles, giant crystal projectiles, and the strength to match 3 supersonic heroes all by himself, Overlord is all-time final boss material.
And he knew it. His ego might as well have had its own health bar. Metal's drive to surpass his rival had morphed into the delusional belief that he was the original, and Sonic the loathsome copy.
A copy that Metal had finally outclassed. All the heroes Metal had gathered had to team up to take him down.
He may have stolen their abilities, but Metal never possessed the thing
roughly match Metal Overlord in power, making him comparable to feats or machines powered by the Emeralds or other equivalents. Okay.
that made the Sonic heroes successful, their friendship and teamwork.
Aw, how cute! Gag. Probably should have added some of those goddamn rails to the final boss fight, because it is impossible to land on those things. After getting trashed again, Eggman reprogrammed Metal to purge any bits of rebelliousness from his code.
Metal returned to being the Eggman Army's chief enforcer, always proving invaluable as the Bad Doctor's greatest creation, now completely obedient once again.
I don't know, Wiz. Who knows what's really going on behind those glowing red eyes? Maybe Metal is more cunning than he lets on, and is only biding his time until he can take over again.
Maybe the most powerful thing that Metal copied was the ability to lie.
Hell yeah.
Hey, I'm Chad, the voice of Boomstick.
Sup?
And if you don't believe me,
But what about now? That's what I thought.
look, the matchup is about to begin and we can't wait for you to see it. But first I want to tell you about a brand new thing coming to the Death Battle store, and it's something you guys have been asking for. Matchup pitches. It's a way to meet with me and Ben, the creators of Death Battle, and pitch us a matchup that you've been wanting to see. Any matchup, any way you like. We'd love to hear from you. This was originally a Kickstarter reward, but due to popular demand, we wanted to keep it going. A lot of episodes of Death Battle that are currently being worked on are because of a pitch. So we want to give each pitch the time it needs, so
Please,
quantity
let
is
Jaws
limited.
versus
You
Rexy
better
be
act
one of
quick.
them.
Death Battle pitches are available right now on deathbattle.gg. That's our website that's like a Patreon mixed with some other stuff. And if you're a website member, you get discounts on all of our merch, including the pitch calls. While you're there, make sure you check out the Death Battle Retro Tee. It's a shirt we made like over a decade ago. The first Death Battle shirt. I found the file and recreated it, only on a much nicer shirt. So check that out while you're there. Anyway, let's get to the fight. I know you want to see it, and Boomstick wants to see one of these copycats get copy-capped. So here we go, and remember, deathbattle.gg. We want to hear your pitches. Thanks.
All right.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data
on,
through
Mel,
all
come on.
It's
possibilities.
time for a death battle!
Time for the Clash of the Clankers. Oh boy.
Salutations, Dr. Robotnik. Your
There's the
reputation precedes you. Bring me your strongest fighter, or face... Then prepare to kneel before your master. Perfect.
Yes. Okay. Hey. Woo. Form. Block shield, come on, Metal. Oh, there we go. Ooh, he broke through it. Damn. Okay, oh, Neo is getting his ass handed to
Tell
him.
me, does a machine like yourself ever experience fear?
There's the Vegeta.
Not anymore!
Hello, Overlord. Okay, Cell's got his own boss right now. Oh, is that Middle Planet? That it is. Either that's Little Planet or that's the Death Egg. Holy shit.
Fool, you're dealing with the ultimate life form. I already possess his data. Observe. Chaos! Done.
Oh, Cell won't let him.
Life form data successfully copied.
Oh, no.
It'll take more than that to kill me, puppet!
Come on, Neo. I know you got this one.
I know. Now I know everything about you.
Yes!
That's it.
Let's set the stage, come on! Metal copies? What? Oh, that won't work. Tri-beam!
Don't you dare.
Oh, there goes the Cell game ring. Super perfect Cell? Yep, there he is. On metal! Yes! One final beam
I
struggle.
am not just the greatest warrior in the universe. I am all of them.
Metal! Metal!
If you are all of them, then so am I. I'll never lose to a machine like...
Yes! Show you just what I'm made of. Yes! Yes! Yes!
Oh, now Metal's got all the powers of the Chaos Emeralds and the Z Fighters? Well, that world's fucked. Our bad.
Cell may have been one of the greatest threats in Dragon Ball Z, but Eggman's greatest creation ultimately proved too
Oh,
much.
thank God.
Let's break this down into 4 categories: strength,
Okay.
speed, abilities, and adaptation.
First up, who was the strongest? Well, it's no surprise that any version of Cell was gonna be way more powerful than base Metal or Neo. Even just using the manga, blowing up a solar system is far beyond the level of power output Metal can match.
Without his stronger forms. With them, the power gap entirely reversed. Not only could Metal match Cell's solar system busting or scaling from Frieza, but he could surpass it with the universe-destroying power of the Emeralds.
But hang on, Wiz. Those Namekians said that Cell was strong enough to threaten a universe on his own.
They did, but they didn't specify how, and there's nothing suggesting he could destroy it in one go.
Yeah.
Especially since it's only brought up theoretically and without any time frame.
Even being generous and assuming he could just blow it up, final bosses like
Even
Time
spelling
Eater and
Cell
Solaris can
Celebrate.
destroy the wider
Okay.
multiverse, and Super Neo Metal would scale to them. Metal Sonic takes the edge in strength.
And with Sonic characters being known for their speed, you might think that was an easy win for Metal.
At his max speed in his super form, he should be comparable to entities like the Time Eater, who in Shadow Generations can destroy entire universes in seconds. By using the radius of the observable universe, we can estimate the Time
Wait,
Eater's
so are we
destructive
not
wave traveled
going
at
with
about
measurable speed?
180 quadrillion times faster than light.
Certainly impressive, but let's compare that to Goku's flight from heaven to hell shortly after the Cell games, which covered roughly a universe in distance at approximately 180 quadrillion times faster than light.
Hey, just like Time Eater. The
Yep.
difference, though, was that Goku was in his base form, way slower than Super Saiyan 2 Gohan or Super Perfect Cell.
Factoring in Super Saiyan multipliers,
Okay.
Super Perfect Cell can
Both
move
Cell and
upwards
Metal
of
Sonic
100
with
times
potential
faster than
infinite
that,
speed feats,
and
however,
so
they would
100
be
times
able to
faster
rocket
than
people.
Metal Sonic.
Okay.
Somehow, Cell takes the edge in speed.
Well, shit,
You know,
it
the
was
thing
an
Metal was
Omni-Man
designed
Mordor
for.
situation.
Wasn't expecting that. Let's see if any of their abilities could tip the scales.
They shared many
Yeah.
of the same powers, like telekinesis, force fields, and energy projectiles. Of note, though, Cell's regeneration was clearly superior, able to fully heal from a single cluster of microscopic cells.
On top of that, Cell's Saiyan genes would let him grow in power every time he almost died, and his Cell Juniors gave him the numbers advantage.
And considering Super Neo Metal had a time limit, Cell would have a big advantage in a battle of attrition.
But with Chaos Control, that became a lot tougher.
Yep.
Cell and his juniors had no way to deal with Metal boosting his speed or stopping time, something that countered Cell's speed advantage and left him open. And with Silver's psychokinesis, or the Emerald spatial distortion, Metal could seriously impair Cell's healing.
So it helped that Cell could fall back on his martial arts abilities in a pinch.
Despite effectively being a newborn, Cell's genetic instincts allowed him to best Earth's most skilled warriors back to back to back.
Metal may have copied Eggman's brains, but he definitely isn't as good of a fighter. The Sonic heroes haven't trained like the Z Fighters. fighters, and Metal's been beaten by all of them a bunch of times. So all that in mind, abilities is roughly a wash.
Which leaves us with the one thing they're both known for, their capability to evolve and become more powerful in response to their opponents, aka their adaptation.
And frankly, that's where this back and forth completely breaks. Because at the end of the day, Metal can copy Cell, but Cell can't absorb Metal.
Cell's ability to physically absorb an opponent is primarily via...
Daizenshu claims perfect Cell gains 17 and 18's infinite generators after absorbing them. However, not only does Cell tire against Goku, the Chaos Emeralds also grants Metal infinite energy with the Super Transformation's time limit, so... Okay, yeah.
Against foes he can match or overpower.
Even if he took Metal by surprise, he can't absorb fully inorganic robots like Android 16.
Cell was only able to absorb Android 17 and 18 because they were primarily organic.
They're actually more like cyborgs and are only called androids in the English translation.
Metal, on the other hand, can copy a target's biodata through only a few seconds of direct eyesight, something he could easily accomplish during a time stop.
And using it on Cell means he wouldn't just get Cell's powers, but the powers of all of the Z-Warriors too.
Remember, Metal's copying applies to abilities that fundamentally affect his own biology, like Espio's invincibility or Chaos's liquid body. Nothing Cell has would be off limits, especially given all of Cell's powers were genetically encoded in the first place, quite literally biodata.
Cell's Saiyan power-ups? Copied. Cell's regeneration? Copied. Cell's key techniques? Believe it or not, copied.
Chaos Emeralds are described as being able to produce life energy, similar to Ki, so there's a precedent for him being able to replicate Cell's power set. And at this point, there's nothing stopping Metal from, say, stopping time and using a Kamehameha to vaporize him at a cellular level, just like Gohan did.
Cell might be able to do anything the Z-Fighters know how to do, but that's not gonna help him, because Metal can do anything Cell knows how to do. Strange, isn't it?
Cell just doesn't have any options to retaliate that Metal wouldn't also possess, including any of his previous advantages. Metal's copy ability is just that overpowered.
Oh, I guess now I get why they called it Sonic CD.
And why's that?
Cell died. Wiz, you get it? CD? Wiz, where you go? Come on back. Next time on Death.
All right. Please be Dan versus Jinga or Alistair versus Blackout. One of the two. Come on. Nope. Oh, sweet hell.
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death Battle. Thanks for watching.
Well, the discourse around that one's going to be absurd. Let's see if there's anything afterwards. No, okay. Well, Bakugo versus Reize. Nope, not touching that matchup with a 30-foot pole. Alright. Well, I hope you all enjoyed. That was a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to the track being published for the public. I'll see y'all on the next one. Let me know if you want to see more like this. Bye-bye.